there's a final figure within this video that we're going to meet, which is that of the Great Mother, of the Great Sea, when the river reaches the ocean again and plumbs incalculable depths, plumbs incalculable diversity of life. There's nowhere more foreign intelligences to our own than in the depths of the ocean. Nowhere is there more alien experiences of our own than in the depths of the ocean. And this is the legacy of our total collective unconscious, as Jung expresses it, that there is a place that we reach where the symbols and the signs and the intensity of the energy is almost unassimilable. We're going to work with that. And this in Sumerian mythology, in the Enuma Elish in Babylonian mythology, let's say, this is Tiamat, which translates to the Great Salt Sea. This is she who gave birth to the gods, but also who sought to destroy the gods, who sought to consume the gods. There is both a creation and a consumption, that when we reach this level, there's a great danger, because it is a part of our heroic journey to be consumed by the Great Mother, to be consumed by our collective unconscious, such that we can light our fire within its depths and find a new state of meaning on the other side of lighting that fire, to bring a new reality back to, you can say our society, but to ourselves from those depths of meaning. And that this is a process that it's my belief that we don't only reach one time in our life. There's not I hit rock bottom and then I'm done. We live within a series of narrative cycles in which the bottom of that narrative cycle occurs within the belly of the Great Mother, within the uterus, within the matrix of the Great Mother. And it's interesting to note that the word for mother comes from the Latin mater, which I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but it's the same word that we get matter from, and it comes from the Greek word mitris, which is the matrix. It's the root word for matrix, but it also means uterus. So we have to descend back into our own depths, into our own uterus, and be reborn as a child once again. This is the baptism. This is the act. This is the archetype of the child who is died, goes to hell, regresses himself, and is reborn into society as a God man or God woman. This is central to the art of individuation. This is what Jung discovered through his symbols of transformation. And as he said himself, he discovered the secrets of myth, and then through his red books and his black books, he endeavored to discover what his own myth was, because he realized that he had discovered the keys to myth within society, but had not discovered his own myth within himself. And between 1913 and 1916, he then, through his own imaginative process, descended into his own depths and emerged with what then became analytical psychology, psychological types, the fundamentals of analytical psychology, the Mysterium Conjunctionis, the Psychology and Alchemy. His collected works from then on all came from this foundation of the process that he found through his own myth-making process and his own active imagination and his own descent into the depths of himself, not of the culture. In fact, reading the Red Book, he wound up askew of much of what his culture had been up to that point. He found himself at a loss and at a feeling of insanity for the polarity to the tension of the opposites, to, as he would say, the enantiodromia of himself, the spirit of the times, and the spirit of the depths. And this was what then bore the fruit of the art of individuation as he continued to study it in the most empirical way that he could. Jungian psychology is not necessarily the most empirical thing, but the subject matter is of such a depth and of such an intensity that it's very hard to find the empirical metrics through which we could measure, say, the descent of this psychological mind into insanity and back again, as it's portrayed through myth cross-culturally throughout time. This is a very difficult thing to to find empirical and measurements that can be extrapolated across each other, because it's quite literally the water that we're swimming in. So I want to thank you very much for making it this far. I want to wish you a good morning, evening, afternoon, or good night, wherever you find yourself. Thank you for watching. This has been The Art of Remembering.